All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, man, I've got some news, some funny news, and I'm telling you, do not count on that Canelo Alvarez Terence Crawford fight being made for sure, as there is more and more trouble on the horizon for that Turki Alashiek organization, as there is more talk about Turki Alashiek not paying his bills. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, do not, and I repeat, do not, this is my advice, it's not an order. Do not go buying tickets to that Canelo Alvarez Terence Crawford fight too soon. And do not count your chickens before it's hatched, because there's been more than a little bit of drama coming out of that camp over the week, including one more incident of people claiming that Turki Alashiek isn't paying them money that he should be paying them. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really makes a huge difference to the channel. But let's get into this. First things first, Turki Alashiek is the worst manager that I think I have ever witnessed. Absolutely terrible at organizing, absolutely terrible at communication. And unfortunately for the Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fight, those skill sets are very, very, very important. It's not just enough to have money, but you also have to know how to use that money in a way that will generate more money. And Turki Alashiek has shown that he has almost no capability to do that, as he is burning through record levels of money and putting it on card after card after card that loses money, loses money, loses money, loses money. And why do these fight cards lose money? My personal belief, it is because he has terrible planning and he has terrible matchmaking. However, there's now a stream, an underlying theme, where it seems as if Turki Alashiek's major strength that he does have may not be as strong as people think it is. There was a report that came out on Twitter, and it said once again that there were fighters that had claimed they are not getting money from Turki Alashiek that they think they should be getting from Turki Alashiek. Now, the first time that this was reported, it was reported on a fight card for Arthur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol, where Matt from Bunch Boxing had reported that several fighters, including Virgil Ortiz, had not been paid for their fight. And he had found this information out, a considerable amount of time after the fight had taken place. Virgil Ortiz said false, but Matt from Brunch Boxing maintained and said, no, I'm telling you, I don't care what he said. My sources, and I've got good sources, are telling me that there are monies that were not paid to certain fighters. Well, fast forward, and we have another incident of monies that fighters think should have been paid to them, not being paid by Turki Alashiek. And what are they? They're hotel bills. When the certain fighters flew to New York City for that event, Turki Alashiek did not cover their hotel expenses. The first person to say that was Rolly Romero. And Rolly Romero not only said that he didn't pay for the hotel, he said that he had all kind of he said he had problems with his gloves. And what was else that he said? Oh, he said Turki refused to put his money in escrow ahead of time. Oops, that's another bit of money problem. Now, you have the money issue, but then you also have now with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, you have a huge planning issue. And what's the planning issue? The planning issue is that Turki Alashiek said the fight was going to be on Friday, the 12th, at Allegiant Stadium. They put the tickets up on sale on StubHub, but then turns around and says that that's not the date of the fight. And also, he was supposed to be working with Dana White. He turns around and says, we're not working with Dana White. We're working with Sella. Well, what is Sella? Sella is a promotional company out of Saudi Arabia. So it looks like the fight may actually not even wind up being in the United States. The fight might wind up being over in Saudi Arabia. I'm telling you, man, this fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez is going to flop because of mismanagement. It's going to flop because of lack of understanding about how boxing actually works, what actually makes a big fight. But worse than all of that, it may fall apart because this guy just decides to change his mind and walks up and says, you know what? I don't know if I really want to do this anymore. Right? Isn't that what he did with Dana White? Announced a partnership with Dana White. TKO was going to promote the event. Dana White says he doesn't like the date, September 12th. He doesn't want to do it at Allegiant Stadium. So what does Turki Alashiek do? He turns around and counter programs the UFC on the same day while they have a program in Mexico. You have Turki Alashiek trying to take Mexican Independence Weekend with Canelo Alvarez competing directly with him. That is somebody that is inconsistent and somebody you cannot rely upon. So if I was somebody doing business with him, I would be looking for the door. I am not lying. I would be looking for the door. How in the world can I get to a situation where things are predictable and repeatable? When I enter into a negotiation with somebody in a fight, I know what the fight is going to be once we agree, and you're not going to come back and change stuff later. There was a saying about Don King in that regard. And Don King, the saying about Don King was that once you sign the contract, that's when the negotiations begin, because Don King is going to try to pull every string and every little loophole he could possibly pull in that contract and try to get you to back up off of this, change this, take a little less money, let me pay you in cash, or let me pay you this way, right? So people were like, one of the frustrating things dealing with Don King is that Don King would always be trying to move and shake and switch up the deal. Well, what's the difference between Don King and the way that Turki Alashiek is behaving? The way that I see, almost none, except for Don King knows a lot more about the sport of boxing than Turki Alashiek does. However, you can't rely on the man to keep his promise at any stage in the agreement. You can't trust this man to keep his word. So I'm telling you, man, that fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is far from a done deal. And I'm telling you, the main person in the United States that was going to be able to help with that promotion is no longer involved and is probably quite pissed off. So anyway, get ready for Turki Alashiek to screw that fight up. Put it in the middle of the afternoon on Saturday afternoon in Saudi Arabia and have it go up against NFL football. I mean, no, what is it, September? In September, I think they are already playing college football in September. So yeah, so they can go up against college football on a Saturday night, man. There's no way these guys are making money in that fight, man. Just terrible, terrible management. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.